Good afternoon and welcome to SAIT Newsfile. I'm Ella Matt. Chelsea Kavanagh will have a look at all the highlights later in the show. What can we expect?
Well, Ella, it was a big weekend in the sports world here in Canada, but we are going to check in also with our newly titled NCAA men's champions.
Well, I'm looking forward to that March Madness action. Travis Neal has been enjoying the elements out there. Travis, what does it look like?
Yeah, Ella, it's absolutely beautiful out. You know, the sun's shining. We've got a high of +3 today, which isn't as nice as it was last year where we sat at a +16, which almost broke the record we set in 1960 of +20. But I will take +3 and partly cloudy over the record we set in 1911 where it was -25 degrees. I'll have your full look at the forecast later in the show. Back to you, Ella.
Thanks, Travis. Now here's a look at today's top stories. The provincial elections are right around the corner and parties are fighting neck and neck to see who will become the next premier. But not without some controversy. Premier Daniel Smith and the UCP government were recently caught up in a scandal where Premier Smith has now received a lot of backlash because of it. Taranjot Vinning has been following the story and joins us live from the McDougall Centre. Taranjot, what can you tell us about the scandal?
Well, Ella, things got spicy here at the McDougall Centre on Monday when Premier Daniel Smith was in town with one of her colleagues for an announcement. Instead of talking about the announcement, things quickly shifted to the scandal.
The matter is now likely to be subject of legal defamation proceedings. I will not be commenting about it further.
Political jousting is underway in the province as Premier Daniel Smith has come under some scrutiny after footage was leaked of her talking to Calgary street pastor Artur Pawlowski, who has been charged with criminal mischief and many other cases.
There's been a great deal of inaccurate, misleading, and likely defamatory reporting about my discussions with justice officials regarding amnesty for COVID prosecutions. I have been clear that neither I nor anyone within my staff have contacted any Crown prosecutors, as has been alleged.
The provincial election is just weeks away, and many candidates are either vying for re-election or dropping from the race. Since the scandal came to light, Premier Smith has now filed a defamation lawsuit against CBC for its articles on the subject matter. With the scandal at the forefront during the press conference, Premier Daniel Smith said she has received advice from her justice officials and will leave the decision in the hands of the court, while also addressing CBC.
Also waiting for an apology for the misinformation in the stories that you and the CBC have written. And as I mentioned, I seek advice of my justice officials on a variety of issues. That is their job, to give me advice. And the advice that they have given me has been that there are matters before the courts that need to be resolved.
Many have mixed feelings about the elections in May. Some students say they don't have an ideal candidate, but feel the UCP government doesn't have the interest of citizens in mind.
I don't know if I've picked an ideal candidate, but the party that I can tell that seems to have the people's interests and the workers' interests most in mind is probably the NDP.
Tricky times may be ahead for the UCP government as the provincial elections are coming up. It'll be interesting to see how Premier Daniel Smith and the UCP battle against their opposition to retain the Premier title. Back to you, Ella.
Thanks, Taranjot. That was Taranjot Vinning reporting live from the McDougall Centre. South of the border, one of the most famous U.S. presidents is also facing a big scandal. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has pled not guilty to 34 felonies of falsifying business records. He was indicted by a Manhattan grand jury, which makes him the first former American president to face criminal charges. It has not been made immediately clear what the indictment was connected to or what charges he will face. His next in-person court appearance will be on December 4th, but the trial will start in January next year. Trump will speak to the public on the matter with more details later tonight at 6:15. Violence and crime has been on the increase in Calgary, and it seems the worst of it centers around LRT stations, including an attack early this morning. Now, the City of Calgary, the Alberta government, and the Calgary Police have announced new safety plans to be implemented starting today. Brendan Donald has more on the story.
The City of Calgary has seen a spike in crime over the last couple of months, with a large amount coming in or around areas of public transit. Earlier this morning, someone was stabbed at the Ellerton LRT station by Stampede Park. Fortunately, he was not seriously injured.
No, I don't like going on public transit. I've had knives pulled on me, so.
Crime rates are rising month to month, and the City of Calgary says it is working towards restoring safety and trust for Calgary transit users.
My council colleagues and I approved two important investments during budget deliberations in November. First, an additional boost of $20 million to Calgary Police Service, which enables them to hire more than 150 new officers.
The city is looking to use additional funds to add extra officers and security to transit areas with the hope by the end of the month to triple the number of guards.
We won't have every station covered with security guards, but it'll increase the amount of stations that we can deploy security guards to based on the priorities of concern in the area.
The Calgary Police Service say many people are improperly using transit, and expectation is public spaces like transit must be safe.
We are now seeing, though, that there's a significant portion of those who are improperly using transit and other public spaces who have become entrenched. Many are displaying resistance to offers of service and supports, and as well there's reduced cooperation and compliance with authority figures on transit.
Luckily for the City of Calgary, they are going to be getting a lot more support in terms of the province giving even more additional funds.
So our government will also be providing $5 million in grants to each of Calgary and Edmonton to clean up the transit stations of debris and garbage. Calgary is doing their part, the province is doing our part, and it's time the federal government did their part.
Currently, no, not until I see some changes. I'm downtown a lot, and it's not a very safe place.
For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brendan Donald.
At least 3 individuals are believed to have been stabbed by the same person in downtown Calgary yesterday. Police flooded to the downtown area to arrest a suspect connected to the stabbings. Officers received multiple reports of a man with a knife early afternoon, not also of the same stabbings, but also of him trying to steal a purse. The crimes unfolded around the 600 block of 5th Avenue Southwest, and since then the police have now arrested the man. Calgary's LRT line has been approved for the first phase of construction. This approval of the first phase stems from the Shepherd to Eau Claire. As a result of this, the beloved Eau Claire market will be demolished. Delays to this process occurred when last year the Green Line LRT board expressed that the Oak Transit Connectors and CityLink were shortlisted after an evaluation process. But now, all that's left is to find one last development partner for the Green Line LRT board, and the project is fully underway. SAIT's new Wellness Center officially opened its doors on Monday, offering a place for students to get active without having to go off campus. As Brett Lekewski reports, it may be a big white tent, but the facilities are all there.
Our club programs are bigger than they've ever been.
Students at SAIT have been without a wellness center on campus all semester, until now. The new SAIT Wellness Center is officially open behind the East residence, and students are coming down to see what it has to offer. The school believes students have desperately needed a place on campus to stay healthy both physically and mentally.
Oh yeah, working out I think is essential, and for mental health as well, helping students and things like that.
The basketball court as well as the gym are both available for the students to use for free, allowing students to save money at a time where budgeting is difficult. The facility also offers a level of comfort for students that live in residence and aren't familiar with the city.
Since I'm not from here and I don't know everything around here like the gym and stuff, and I have the possibility to work out here in the new stuff here, it's pretty much a nice thing.
The building is around 15,000 square feet, but it still isn't able to fit everything from the former campus center inside of it. SAIT's Athletics and Recreation Department say they are exploring additional recreational opportunities for students around campus.
That's very temporary. A new floor should be installed over the summer that will give us access to volleyball and badminton, as well as indoor soccer. We're also looking at putting pickleball in there.
All SAIT students need is their student ID to come and take advantage of the new wellness center that opens up at 6 a.m. on weekdays. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brett Lekewski.
The government of Alberta announced its plan to improve EMS response times with more ambulances with the help of paramedics. Alberta's Health Minister Jason Coping announced yesterday that $1.5 million from the 2023 budget will be allocated to train and hire staff. Along with that, the money will also be used to conduct a review of the resources EMS already has and how they use it in Alberta communities. If you have a graduated driver's license in Alberta, Chances are the GDL program could possibly benefit you. The province is now cutting costs and red tape for young drivers. As Jake Stegerman reports, the idea to get them onto the regular license quicker and easier.
The cost of living has been soaring this year. Food, clothes, everything is going up. Another expense, such as an advanced road test fee, can steer GDL drivers away from getting it. As of April 1st, Albertans who have an urgent need to exit the GDL program right away, such as for employment, can now go to their local registry office and do so without a required road test.
Basically, to exit out of the program, you have to have 24 months of driving experience. But if you do the driver training and get the 10 hours of driver training and get the actual certificate, you will get reduction of 6 months, so it'll drop it down to 18 months.
Over the past 5 years, close to 65% of drivers didn't take their advanced road test. A reason behind that is requiring a second test that can cost between $150 and $200 isn't necessary, or it simply can be too expensive. Young Alberta drivers resort back to foregoing the road test and remain a Class 5 GDL driver.
$150 is kind of a lot of money to a lot of people, including me. So the fact that fee is no longer a thing means maybe I'll actually consider going and doing it.
Moving forward, all restrictions of a GDL license will remain in place until a driver has received a letter from the government indicating they have exited the GDL program. On June 25th, the province will also bring in technology that will automatically upgrade eligible GDL drivers to non-GDL drivers. Current GDL drivers must have no suspensions or demerits within their last year of probation, which also includes no tolerance for any alcohol or drug consumption. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Jake Stegerman.
Students and faculty in the Hospitality and Tourism program here at SAIT are beaming after named the top hospitality school in Canada. The 2023 list published by CEO World Magazine ranks SAIT at number 15 overall, 3 spots up from their placement last year. The rankings are based on a number of factors including job placement, recruiters' response, and academic reception. SAIT School were especially noticed for their hands-on approach that efficiently prepares students for their real-world work situations. Instructors in the program say being represented on such a highly decorated list of schools will help attract more global attraction to SAIT as a whole.
Yeah, I think we've seen a great influx of international students coming to study here in Canada based off of our ranking in the world.
SAIT's culinary program was also included in the hospitality school ranking, making it number 1 in Canada as well. Zombie hunters, apocalyptic scenery. You wouldn't think SAIT, but when the hit HBO show The Last of Us was shooting here last year, the campus turned into another world. Many Calgarians and SAIT grads played a role on and off the screen in the show's productions. One of SAIT's appearances was as the University of East Colorado in the 6th episode, where the 2 main characters, Ellie and Joel, journey to. Not only was the physical buildings of SAIT featured, but many alumni too, being one of them Gina Phillips, who graduated from the Radio, Television, and Broadcast News program in 2015. She was an actress in the 1st episode as a medic when Ellie is first introduced.
It was more about my Calgary family and friends really recognizing what the industry is like. So it almost brought it home for them. And they're like, wow, it's actually like on our doorstep, it's happening. And it made me feel a bit more seen as an actor.
As large productions continue to flock to Calgary, it's safe to say the city has a promising future in the film business. Calgary's Canada's Jeremy Hansen is blasting off to land on the moon. This will be the first moon mission in 52 years, and Hansen, who is trained as a CF-18 pilot in Cold Lake, Alberta, has risen to the challenge. The Atrians 2 mission is the first time a Canadian will participate in a lunar mission. On his mission, he will be joined by astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Hammock-Conch to fulfill the quest. The Canadian Space Agency says that there will be takeoff no earlier than November 2024. Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break. But first, Travis Neal has a look on what's going on around town this week.
Are you in the mood for a glass of beer and a dirty country band with upright bass? Well, the Calgary Mayhem are in town at the Ship and Anchor this Saturday at 2 p.m. Tickets are free. Sabrina Carpenter is in town tomorrow night only. at the Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Tickets range from $75 to over $100. If you're in the mood to watch some wrestling, Dungeon Wrestling is holding their April event this Friday with a chance to meet the wrestlers. This event will be on the Stampede grounds. Tickets range between $35 to $75. The live-action play of Gaslight is on now until April 16th at the Vertigo Theater. Tickets are between $30 and $70. And no better way to kick off the Easter season than to get pictures with the Easter Bunny at the Easter Extravaganza held this Saturday at Indulge Marta Loop. This all-day event is free for all families.
Did you know that having your pet neutered can increase their lifespan? While pets that are not neutered are at a high risk of infection and disease. When adopting a pet, the Rescue Friends Animal Foundation pets available for adoptions are already neutered. Adopt your own neutered pet at Rescued Friends.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
I don't know about you, but I would love to get my picture taken with the Easter Bunny. We'll take a look at the western side of the country first for the weather. As we can see, Vancouver is 10 degrees with some rain. They're under a low pressure system that's bringing them a ton of rain over the next couple days. Edmonton is a little bit more clear skied. It is 3 degrees. We will be seeing a Chinook hit Alberta and parts of Saskatchewan as well. However, Regina is -7 with some snow right now. Winnipeg is -3 with snow. They're under a winter storm warning, and they're expected to get the snow tomorrow. We'll look now at the eastern side of the country. As we can see, Toronto is 10 degrees with some rain. They will be clearing up over the next couple days, so they have that to look forward to. Montreal is 10 degrees with some sun. They're under a freezing rain warning, which they are expecting to get 10 to 20 millimeters of rain tomorrow. Halifax is 11 with some snow. They're under a low pressure system as well, as they're getting a lot of changing sort of weather. And then St. John's is 3 degrees with some snow. We'll take a look now at the better looking temperatures.
Palm Springs is 22 with lots of sun today. Barbados and Cancun are looking nice. Both are partly cloudy and near 27 degrees. Honolulu is quite nice at 27 degrees and sunny. Orlando is the hotspot today at 32 degrees, and Las Vegas is a bone-chilling 11 degrees. As we look at Calgary today, we can see it's 3 degrees with mainly sunny conditions. We do have a 8 kilometer per hour wind coming from the south, and we will have more sun coming up in the 5-day. But as we look at the province here, as we can see, the outer portions of the province are a little bit colder, with Grand Prairie being our cold spot at -4. We do have some snow in the more southern part of the province. But as we get more centralized into the province, we can see it's around that 1 to 2 degree range with a little bit more of clear skies. We'll now take a look at that 5-day forecast where we can see that Chinook hitting. Tonight we'll drop down to a low of -9 with some cloud coverage. We'll be getting a 20 kilometer per hour wind that will help bring in that Chinook that we'll see for the Easter weekend. Tomorrow will be a high of +6 with some sun. Thursday we see the effects of that Chinook as we jump up to double digits into the 11 degree range. And then for Easter weekend, we have a high of 16 on Friday with some partly cloudy conditions. And Saturday we'll have a high of 14 and partly cloudy conditions. Now after the break, Chelsea Kavanagh will update us on the world of sports.
I used to hear voices. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't matter. Walked around in circles, didn't know where to go. Until I found my purpose. Through people that helped me live a better life and build a better future. Now I can finally see that I'm able, capable, and worthy.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Chelsea Cavan now joins us for a look at the latest highlights. What can we expect?
Well, Ella, we've had a busy few days in the sports world, and we're going to start off with our new NCAA champions. It was a memorable night last night for the Roaring Connecticut Huskies as they claimed their 5th NCAA championship title. The game was neck and neck with both the San Diego State Aztecs and the Huskies putting up an impressive amount of points. At 7 minutes left in the game, Darian Trammell makes an impressive layup to bring them even tighter to the Husky lead. Just a few minutes later, the Huskies' Jordan Hawkins pocketed an impressive three-pointer to extend their lead. The baskets only continued as Tristan Newton made a slick layup with just 3 minutes left in the game. The Yukon team set their win in stone with one last bucket from the air fryer himself. Huskies guard Tristan Newton was ecstatic about their win.
Stick to our identity, defense, rebound, get out in transition, make up my shots. We got great perimeter shooters, great bigs. Like I said, we can do anything on the court, so that's all it was. Just stick to our identity.
Both teams stayed tight to one another in points. Tristan Newton, Adama Sanogo, and Jordan Hawkins all shared the wealth of points, hitting above 15 points each. The Aztecs' Kashad Johnson, Darian Trammell, and Lamont Butler followed suit, each of them picking up double digits. This year marks the team's 5th NCAA championship win, placing them at 4th overall in NCAA titles. The Flames are trying to reignite the spark as they grapple at a last-minute wildcard spot. The team picked up 2 much-needed points on Sunday night after beating the Anaheim Ducks 5-4 in overtime. Many factors are said to play a role in the team's wavering success, one being the shaky season so far from Flames goalie Jacob Markstrom. He was pulled from the net on Sunday night against the Ducks after letting 2 goals slide past, a theme we've seen throughout the season for the seasoned player. Despite Markey's struggle, the team pumped it up, with a blast from Stone bringing home the OT victory. The Flames are inching their way up to a wild card spot, and tonight's game against the Chicago Blackhawks will be crucial for them to claim the seat. Puck drop is set for 7 p.m. The Calgary Hitmen definitely took the hit last night after losing 4-2 to the Red Deer Rebels here at home. The Hitmen are now trailing in what was a tied battle. The Calgary team opened the scoring with Carson Wetch sneaking one in through the 5-hole. Sadly, the Rebels answered the call moments later as Matteo Fabrizi evens out the score. By the third, the Hitmen were playing catch-up and staying in the Rebels' crease to try and find the back of the net. Despite their efforts and the time spent in the opponent's zone, the Rebels finished them off with an insurance goal from KU Chaz. The Hitmen are looking to even out the series in Game 4 tomorrow night. Sitting at number 7 in the Eastern Conference, the team will have to bring the heat to dominate the Rebels, who are sitting in the 3rd spot. The Jays bowed their heads in defeat after last night's loss against the Kansas City Royals 5-9. Right off the bat, Barrios gives up a single to Bobby Witt Jr. and Jay Melendez scores, making it 1-0 KC. The Jays were down 30 early on with more troubles from Barrios with 2 on for Nicky Lopez, who sent Barrios straight to the gap, giving both runners the chance to get to third, making it 5-0 Royals. Later in the 4th, Barrios gives away another double to Vinny Pasquantino, which plates another run for Kansas City, foreshadowing the Jays' loss. It was a quiet night for the Jays as they pushed past the loss against the Royals, only to face them once again tonight at 5:40 p.m. in their opponent's territory. The Raptors are sharpening their claws for their next battle after a win against the Charlotte Hornets on Sunday. The team put out an impressive performance, keeping the pace throughout the game. The Hornets battled for it in the 4th with Theo Maledon rushing in for a layup. The Raps didn't waste any time extending their lead and headed back down the court for a nice three-pointer from Pascal Siakam. The back and forth continued as the Hornets' Kai Jones goes hard in the paint for a stinger. Another attempt was made by Charlotte's squad, but they were denied the shot and Spicy P posted up by the net for a teardrop. Best efforts by the Hornets were ultimately no match for the squad in the 6. It was a colorful night for the Raps with several players posting up an impressive amount of points. The team clinched the play-in tournament berth after the win and are looking to seed with 4 games remaining. The eyes are on the prize as Brad Gushue leads Team Canada to victory over Japan in the men's curling championship. It was an intense third end for Gushue as they went digging, a cool, calm, collected focus, one Gushue is known for. A tap for 2 in the third end gave Canada a lead it wouldn't give up. Another pair was tacked on in the 7th, and a couple shots came in the 8th to ice it. Canada avoided falling below the .500 mark and is tied for 6th with Italy's Joel Retornaz. The team is looking ahead as they prepare for their next game against Korea tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And that's a look at sports. After the break, we will take a look into the inside world of mechanics.
What do you think of when you hear the word home? A place to rest, a place to play, a place for friends and family to gather. There are people in the city who unfortunately don't have that. They only have a house. WINS wants to change that. Donate household items to the House to Home program and help make a house a home again. It's only when you have homes that you have a community.
Come and learn the fast-paced world of television production. Find your passion to write, shoot, edit, and direct news, sports, and dramatic productions. With industry-standard technology and the best instructors in the business, SAIT's television production program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in broadcasting. This is television production. Come and dare to be on air.
Mechanics have been needed in society for a very long time, but cars have changed throughout the years. Are they easier to fix now, or were they more simple back then? Brooklyn Clark has more.
Cars have been around since the late 1800s, but since they were invented, they have constantly changed, whether that is mechanically or electronically. The question is, are they easier to fix now or back then?
Back 30, 40 years ago. Why do you think that? They're simpler. A lot less electronics, a lot less moving parts. And technology progressed and everything got more complicated. Computers got more complicated. And that's 90% of what a car is nowadays.
I think it's a lot easier now because there's more tools nowadays with the scan tools kind of tell you what's wrong and the cars speak to you.
Whether cars may have gotten easier to fix for mechanics, regular customers would still rather have the mechanic fix the car.
I regularly visit a mechanic shop for regular maintenance on my vehicle. It's too much work. That's what you hire the guy for.
Mechanics have been needed in society since the 1800s, no matter how much cars have changed over the years. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Brooklyn Clark.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I was driving around yesterday and I was like, wow, it's nice. There's, no snow on the ground, less traffic lately. Well, coming the summer season, more people are going to be out and about, so maybe not as much that. But I don't know about you guys, but has the weather been great for driving?
Yeah, it kind of opens up all the potholes that are around. My car's taking a little bit of a beating. I'm kind of swerving all over the road trying to get rid of them. But what about you, Chelsea?
Yeah, they've definitely been a problem, but why don't we take a look at the weather?
Yeah, for the next 5 days, we'll be able to see that Chinook coming in, giving us some beautiful, beautiful weather for Easter weekend. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 6 with some sun. Thursday will be a high of 11 with even more sun. And then, like I said, Easter weekend's going to be absolutely beautiful. It's going to be 16 on Friday and 14 on Saturday.
Yeah, with that Easter weekend weather, it gives you a good opportunity to drive up, maybe see some relatives, who live out of town. I don't know, what are your guys' Easter weekend plans?
Not a lot at the moment, but hopefully it'll shape up to be a good weekend.
Yeah. Are you with any plans, Travis?
Yeah, for me, it's just going to be a quiet weekend working.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time we have this week. Thanks for stopping by.